Whew, it's cold in here, but the rest of the house is warm. They don't even heating this in here and all. But we have these done. So let's lay them out. Alright, we want to start down here and check them out, make sure everything will work out just fine. So far, so good. I can't wait to get this one done. Hopefully we'll get it done today. I want to work on a rug on the other channel, and I'm going to show it to y'all at the end of this one, the beginning of the other one, so that way y'all see what kind of rug I want to make. Alright, now we're going to take and just turn them up, pin them down. But this has been a fun quilt to make. I guess all in all, I really enjoyed it because it's looking good. But we are trying not to do them by hand no more. No. You know I'll end up doing it again. I just like old-timey stuff. To me, it seems like it works better. Man, wouldn't it be great to be able to make towels and stuff like that? I don't know how they make towels, but that would probably be interesting to make. So, now, we're going to start with one end and work ourselves down like we did the other ones. Alright, we'll be back in a little bit.
Welcome back to the Disturbing Illusion channel. One of the things that I really, really hate, and the reason I started this channel, is because politicians are pretenders, and there's no greater pretender. And I'm not just talking about Kamala Harris here. I'm talking about any politician who steps into the role of a rescue or food worker helping the people who are devastated by natural disasters. We're going to play this clip right here. This is Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, handing out food. And I'm going to just mute this mic just a little bit, but it really makes me sick. When all the little people did all the work and set everything up and bore the expense and bore the time so that they can help their community, and then a politician comes in, roll the tape, we've got this, it's all set up for you, all you got to come in here, let's powder your nose, let's make sure everything looks good, make sure the lighting is right, make sure all the cameras are situated like they're supposed to be, so that we can create this photo op to make you look like the caring individual that you aren't. And again, this isn't just about Kamala Harris, this is any politician who steps into this role of pretense. Let me show you also, this right here is, I wrote on my Twitter feed, X feed, that people are so frickin' gullible. I don't know if you remember the old monologue by radio personality Paul Harvey, where he's talking about, if I was the devil, this is what I would do. This is an AI generated Paul Harvey voice, and Donald Trump Jr. is really excited about how good this video is and how good it makes his dad look.
Well, guys, I'm not sure who made this video, but my father posted it for the campaign, and honestly, when you think about it, there may be some truth to this. God definitely made Trump, but maybe he made him for a very, very specific purpose and for a very, very specific time, and that time is now.
Get the puke bucket ready.
And on June 14th, 1946, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God gave us Trump.
I need a caretaker. What's he going to take care of? Devaluing America's currency by getting with the big pharma industrial complex, the military industrial complex, and the central banking cartel, and continuing to print boatloads of money? Is that the kind of caretaker God made for us?
God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, fix this country, work all day, fight the Marxists, eat supper.
How do you fix the country and fight the Marxists by instituting red flag laws and bump stock bans? Sitting next to Diane Frankenstein saying, I don't know, Mike, I like take the guns first, due process second. How do you do that?
Then go to the Oval Office and stay past midnight at a meeting of the heads of state. So God made Trump. I need somebody with arms, strong enough to rustle the deep state.
He works so hard for us. He's got the strongest arms. He's lifting us up just like Lady Liberty is lifting up the torch. Donald Trump, he's for us. He's got our six. He knows what to do to make America great again. This is such disgusting propaganda, and you truly have to be checked out and gullible to believe it. If they made something like this about Joe Biden, same thing. I feel like I have to give this disclaimer because people are like, well, if you're against Donald Trump, you must be for Joe Biden. What if I'm against every political sociopath?
Yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild. Somebody to ruffle the feathers.
Has Trump delivered his own grandchild? I hadn't heard that. That's new. Breaking. Donald Trump puts on the old gloves, the neoprene gloves, and he delivers his own grandchild.
Tame cantankerous World Economic Forum. Come home hungry.
He tamed cantankerous World Economic Forum when he's good friends with Klaus. You shall eat the bugs, Schwab. You shall own nothing and be happy, Schwab.
Klaus has done a fantastic job. And again, we're meeting with the biggest companies in the world, the biggest businesses in the world, and world leaders.
Sorry, I know. Well, I don't apologize. This is a commentary channel, and I'm going to make a comment when something is that worthy of ridicule.
Have to wait until the First Lady is done with lunch with friends, then tell the ladies to be sure and come back real soon. And mean it.
You mean the First Lady who doesn't even really want to hold your hand, that First Lady?
So God gave us Trump. I need somebody who can shape an axe, but wield a sword.
And then he shows him with his buddies in Saudi Arabia doing this crazy dance. If you're a friend of Saudi Arabia, do you think you can really be a friend of the United States or the people of the United States? Because the United States government is completely different from the people of the United States. You can love your countrymen, but hate the government who's decimating, economically terrorizing, and sending off to war your fellow countrymen.
Who had the courage to step foot in North Korea, who can make money from the tar of the sand, turn liquid to gold.
And he can lose money so fast that he has to get a loan from the Rothschilds Incorporated banking cartel under Wilbur Ross back in the 1990s when his Taj Mahal experiment, his casino, went underwater, and he had to get a loan from Rothschilds Inc. 25 years later, he makes Rothschilds Inc. employee Wilbur Ross the Commerce Secretary. Let's keep it all in the family over there, shall we?
Who understands the difference between tariffs and inflation, will finish his 40-hour week by Tuesday noon.
The difference between tariffs and inflation? What if tariffs cause inflation? What if tariffs eat away at the product of the value of it, your time and laboring energy? What if tariffs cause prices to go through the roof and make your life more difficult and more expensive?
But then put in another 72 hours. So God made Trump.
Oh, God.
God had to have somebody willing to go into the den of vipers, call out the fake news for their tongues as sharp as a serpent's. The poison of vipers is on their lips.
So he's quoting scripture here, and strong enough to go into the den of vipers. What about strong enough to be one of the vipers as he's entering the den of vipers? And then telling a story about snakes, and then filling instead of draining the swamp with people like Mike Pompeo and John Bolton and Steve Mnuchin and Wilbur Ross and all the other psychopathic swamp puppets.
Yet stop. So God made Trump. God said, I need somebody who will be strong and courageous, who will not be afraid or terrified of the wolves when they attack.
What if he is a wolf? in sheep's clothing, saying we're going to build that wall. We are going to protect our borders and we're going to make Mexico pay for it. And then he's like, you know what we really need is a biometric visa tracking system. It's going to be on sea, on land, in the air. The Visa biometric entry and exit tracking system. He wants to solidify and firm up the surveillance police state, the Orwellian police state. That's Donald Trump and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
A man who cares for the flock, a shepherd to mankind who won't ever leave nor forsake them.
I mean, people really, really believe this. Let me go to a man of memes. This has 361,000 views on it. Whoever made this video, oh, I love this. I love this account right here. Whoever made this video or actually believes this BS is a gullible fool and seriously needs psychiatric help. Frickin' men, finally, there's a voice in the wilderness. Oh my God, this is awesome. Awesome? In what way is it awesome? It's an awesome, putrid pile of lies. Now that is an amazing ad. Hearts. Donald Trump is certainly a mind blower with his extreme dedication to America. His strength is that of Samson. His ability to sit in courtrooms for endless hours and not say anything to defend himself is outstanding. That's how easy it is to buy into and drink deeply from the Kool-Aid and the cult of personality.
And remain strong in faith and know the belief of God.
Oh my gosh, who's that? Paula White? I mean, on stage with as many charlatans as you can gather.
God and country. Somebody who's willing to drill, bring back manufacturing and American jobs, farm the lands, secure our borders, build our military.
Build our military-industrial complex. He gave the military-industrial complex like a 10% raise above and beyond what any former president had ever done. And we know that we were warned back in the 1950s and 60s by Eisenhower of the dangers of the military-industrial complex. And yet we still have presidents today, Republican and Democrat, who are constantly feeding the beast.
Fight the system all day and finish a hard week's work by attending church on Sunday. And then his oldest son turns and says,
by attending church on Sunday. That's all it takes. I mean, does he really attend church on Sunday? And if he did, is it a false church? Is it a cult?
Dad, let's make America great again. Dad, let's build back a country to be the envy of the world again.
That's it for this video. I'll make a completely separate video on what's going on in North Carolina, or what I believe is going on, and the reports that we have from people on the ground. Hey, be honest. Do you trust cops?
We trust officers to serve and protect.
And then they routinely do the exact opposite nearly every single time, to the point where the ranks of the Back the Blue Till It Happens to You club grows every single day. Meet the newest member, and let's take a listen to what he has to say.
What do you expect the next time, for me to call the police? I won't do that no more. In my lifetime.
Who's coming with me?
This recent video coming out of Mesa, Arizona has just a little bit of everything we always talk about on this channel. You got a man who's calling the cops, and then he becomes a suspect and then a victim of police abuse. We've got incompetent ponytail cops who have no business out there exerting their authority, especially over men. We've got mainstream media who won't call out the gross abuse of power and the elephant in the room. And we've got a life ruined with a simple call for help from a dude who's in dire straits and desperate need to get his daughter back. Check this out.
A man who called police for help to get his young daughter back ended up on the ground in handcuffs. Video of this encounter from earlier this month has been circulating on social media, and the man filed a complaint about the officers involved. New at 10, ABC 15 investigator Melissa Blasius is taking a closer look.
Look at the female.
I've now been able to view both the police body cam video and the witness video that you're about to see. But first, the background. The man, Darnay Cockrell, called 911 on August 6th after he says his ex showed up at his apartment and left with their young daughter without permission. Several minutes into the call, police, without explaining why, start handcuffing Darnay Cockrell.
Here, just put my hands, man. I'm not going on the ground here. Here, just put my hands. Would you stop? Please, would you stop?
Cockrell says he was trying to comply with officers putting his hands behind his back, and despite saying he recently had shoulder surgery and bad knees, he says the officers try to trip him and force him down.
It makes me feel less than a person, you know, like, I mean, what do you expect the next time, for me to call the police? I won't do that no more.
Back the blue till it happens to you. Let's look at one more time at this attempted takedown by two people on one dude. And you notice the guy's like, hey, I'll comply. You don't have to get me down to the ground. Look, I'm putting my hands behind my back. Go ahead, and if you feel like you need to put the cuffs on, go ahead, but I got bad knees. The cops don't do any investigation. They don't care. They lack compassion. Watch this again.
Handcuffing, Darnay.
Especially watch, well, it's both of them are incompetent. Both of them are impotent against this man's power, obviously. This guy's almost, a large percentage of the time, this guy has his hands behind his back. So he's beating two people with his hands behind his back.
A Cockrell.
Here, just put my hands, man. I'm not going on the ground here.
Look at this.
Here,
Look
just
at this.
put my hands. Would you stop? Please, would you stop?
Cockrell says he was trying to comply with officers putting his hands behind his back, and despite saying he recently had shoulder surgery and bad knees.
There was no reason for them to try to get him down to the ground when he's already saying, hey, not only is he saying he's going to comply, but he's complying by putting his hands behind his back. His hands aren't behind his back because of them. His hands are behind his back because he chose to put them behind his back so that he can comply with their ridiculous demands without their investigation.
He says the officers try to trip him and force him down.
It makes me feel less than a person, you know, like, I mean, what do you expect the next time, for me to call the police? I won't do that no more.
Amen.
In my lifetime, I won't call the police, and because it seemed like calling the police, you become a suspect, and if he need more training, then he should have been on the streets from the beginning.
Neither of them should be. And there's another element and another ingredient, an important ingredient in this video that we always talk about, is one of this guy's neighbors bothered to become his insurance policy and record this incident because and we're going to see in the next update video from this news channel that they let the news reporter see the video, but she could only record the audio. So if you want audio, if you want to be assured, don't take comfort in the fact that that body cam red light is blinking. Take comfort in the fact that there's somebody that cares about you and cares about your well-being and wants to expose the cops that's doing their separate independent recording. That's what you need.
Mesa police tell us when this video was taken, Cockrell had already been told that officers had found both his daughter and the mother.
Wow.
They say at no time was Cockrell under arrest, and he was released a few minutes later. We're told
at no time was Cochran under arrest, but we got our fellow boys in blue, ponytail in blue, trying to force him to the ground against his will.
First officer was recently...
But he's not under arrest.
Out of the academy, and he had been on patrol for just 2 months. Mesa officials say neither officer violated policy, but both will receive additional training.
This isn't a violation of policy when you got a guy saying, hey, just don't take me down. I'll comply with you. I'll put my hands behind my back and you'll achieve the same results, but I got bad knees. That's according to police department policy. You've got to be freaking kidding me. They sanction the use of this kind of force against somebody's will who's in compliant mode?
So why was Cockrell detained at all? Mesa police say he was highly emotional, which is understandable, but he wasn't following directions, they say, which spiked concern for officer safety. Cockrell says since the video went public, he was laid off from his job. He does, however, have his daughter back.
Oh, good. He's got his daughter back, but now he doesn't have a job, so now he can't support his daughter and provide for her needs because of the Mesa Police Department. Here is a follow-up on that same story.
Audio from Mesa Police body-worn cameras released to Fox 10 this afternoon involving an officer and a 911 caller whose daughter was kidnapped. The father was the one to call police and then was detained by 2 officers within minutes. Fox 10's Lindsay Regis broke this story on Thursday, and she joins us live now with more tonight. Lindsay.
Yeah, Mark, last week we shared video taken by a neighbor. What we saw today from Mesa Police was the very first interaction the 911 caller had with the police officer through his body-worn camera. I was allowed to view the video, but could only record the audio.
Well, there's transparency for you. Good job, Mesa Police Department.
Hey, yeah, we're out with her. We're out with her. Relax. Thank you. Hey, relax. Yeah, sit down.
Tonight we are hearing more of Darnay Cockrell's first interaction with a Mesa police officer after he called 911 to report his ex kidnapped his 4-year-old daughter. The audio is from the male officer's body-worn camera when he first saw Cockrell coming down the stairs.
And I was running down the stairs. The officer was coming this way, and he was about right here. And when I was coming down, I jumped past him about right here, and I said, hey, my baby mom, she went this way.
Last week, we showed you this viral video shot by a neighbor of Cockrell being detained by 2 Mesa police officers.
Good job, neighbor. That's the way you do it. You got a portable courtroom and a portable judge in your pocket so that you can show the judge and the courtroom, the jurors, exactly what happened, and you don't have to take the lying police department's word for it.
Just after 6 a.m. on August 6th. Cockrell tells the officer he won't sit down and that he has bad knees.
He's telling me to get on the ground. I'm telling him I'm not getting on the, I don't feel I should have been getting on the ground when I'm the parent that's calling and my kid is been taken.
What am I doing, man? I want to know my kid at. We're out with your kid. I don't see her. Yes, but she's in the intersection. So calm down.
About 5 minutes later, another officer arrives and detains Cockrell.
I'm right here, my leg like
this is just so ridiculous.
They was like, you brought this on yourself. And they grabbed me and pulled me off my car.
There's another element that we always talk about. The victim blaming. Oh, the only reason you're on the ground right now is because of you. It's not because of us. You made us do that. You made us abuse our power against you.
Handcuffs were taken off Cockrell. His daughter was returned and his ex was arrested and booked in jail for disorderly conduct under the domestic violence law.
Went from being a person that called to a person that you're trying to lock up.
Yep.
Cockrell tells us he lost his job after the video went viral on social media. A GoFundMe has been set up for him to help cover food and rent, and we have the latest statement from the Mesa Police Department on our website, fox10phoenix.com.
Oh man, they should have read it. While we are in Mesa, let's take a look at this. Lest you think, oh, this is only a few bad apples. Those few bad apples spoil the whole bunch, even though the police department says, well, they can do that. That's not, they didn't break with policy on that kind of stuff. We actually sanction those kind of actions. We accept those things right there. We accept the police abuse of power on people who are trying to comply. Listen to this. These are veteran police officers who've been accused of sexual misconduct within the Mesa Police Department. We're talking about all crap rolls downhill. These guys are veterans.
Now to an Arizona's family exclusive involving 3 veteran police officers from one Valley department. They are the subjects of scathing allegations.
Yeah, 2 of the cases include prostitutes. The third, an extramarital affair with a woman that officer was called to help. Investigator Amy Cutler spent the last...
An extramarital affair with a woman that police were called to help. I'll help you, ma'am. Help is on the way. The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government, or I'm from the police department, and I'm here to help myself to your stuff.
Last month, looking into these cases, alarming allegations for a community that relies on these officers.
Yes. You know, the allegations that I want to hear that mainstream media considers alarming are civil asset forfeiture, police abuse of power as they commit their road piracy operations on fellow Americans who are trusting them to keep them safe. I want to hear about that kind of stuff.
The Mesa Police Department and the Mesa Police Union agree with the outcome in these cases, determining the officers should be terminated. With all 3 officers facing disturbing allegations, come along with us as we track them down.
Before they go to this cop right here, Wouldn't it be great if they went to the door and said, hey, did you exact economic terrorism against all these people right here? These single mothers, these these parents of families, and did you give them a $250 traffic ticket for going 11 miles an hour of the speed limit when you guys break the speed limit all the time? Are you guys involved in civil asset forfeiture? Are those vehicles of people that live in this community in your impound lot simply because you claimed that they were involved in some kind of drug cartel operations for the Mexican drug cartel? That's the kind of news reporting I want to see.
Hi, my name's Amy. I'm with Arizona.
People are enraged at this stuff that, from the civil asset forfeiture viewpoint, is really nothing.
She later agreed to let Cheng track her and install 2 video cameras in her apartment, allowing him remote access to live viewing.
So now you're going to ruin my family, ruin my wife's career.
Victim blaming. That's the quintessential cop mentality. Now you're going to ruin my life. You're going to ruin my family's life, when he just got done ruining his family's life, but he's going to blame it on the reporter.
As I'm trying to go back to having a normal life because I had little oopsies.
Cheng engaged in sex acts with the woman while on duty between March and May.
Using your tax dollars to do it. And this is not rare. This isn't some off in the weeds thing that happens occasionally. This isn't a few bad apples thing. This is a 25-year veteran with the Mesa Police Department. My question is, how many people has Officer Cheng, former Officer Cheng from the Mesa Police Department, economically terrorized? How many has he personally abused?
Well, I hope you can see the work that's in this rug. Oh, but this is the rug that I want to work on. I did this one, I don't know, probably about 8 years ago. 5 to 8 years ago, I don't know. But this is what we're going to work on the next time on the other channel. And last time I used those cups up there to make it. But we're not going to do that this time. We're going to change to something totally different. Alright, I hope you can see it. I can't see nothing but black. And it looks so good. I am so glad to be done with it. Even the colors look good in it. I am happy with it. Man, that took a long time. Let me tell you a funny. I was putting down 8 instead of 10 for the month. I was like, man, I know it took me longer than 3 days to do this. And I was like, man, this ain't right. It's crazy. But we have it done. I am happy with it. I think it looks really good. Alrighty.